All right. For the penultimate time, I suppose this would be. It's Ben Jones from CricViz joining me. I'm Adam Collins. You probably know that, unless you're watching on YouTube and the algorithm has found you. This is our segment where Ben tells me about the tournament that I don't have the time nor inclination to engage with too much beyond this weekly segment. It's Whamageddon. It's George Michael. It's Mariah Carey. It's the IPL 2025, the way we do it on this show. Ben, I've still not seen a ball. He's going to tell me in the space of six balls, what's been going on. How are you, Jonesy?
I'm class, mate. I will say that for this week, the challenge of trying to watch the IPL whilst also being on site with Sky doing the Zimbabwe test, whilst also doing the final word daily on day three. I've watched a lot of fucking cricket in the last few days. So
well,
I'm in a very particular place. I'll say that.
Well, per the theme of the app, given I've been very busy with running and fundraising and whatnot, I barely saw any of England Zimbabwe. I was relying on the final word episodes, which I enjoyed very much when in my travels. So yes, we will get your very quick sense of where things are at in the IPL as we reach the business stage, the 70th and final group game. I think the tournament started about, I don't even want to know how many months ago, a long time ago in a galaxy far away. That is today as we're recording. Then we're on to the finals, the playoffs, the qualifiers, the preliminary final, the eliminators, and whatever else they're called before the granny, which happens at some point in the future. I don't know when it happens. Anyway,
You went a bit Danny Morrison there. There
did
was a
I?
lovely little
The double R's.
the double R's.
Can you tell me what's going on? Catch me up.
Right, so ball one, I'm sure you remember it. Last week, I left you on the edge of your seat. There was fourth v fifth to decide the final place in the playoffs. Mumbai
That's right.
Indians versus Delhi Capitals last Wednesday. It was all teed up at the Work Rest and Play. We're all very much excited to see who's going to progress, and it was something of a damp squid. Mumbai bat first, stumble a little bit. They make it to 180 thanks to a beautiful knock by yours and mine, Surya Kumar Yadav, make 73 of 43. And he's held their batting together this season. The little stat for you, I do occasionally do stats. He's passed 20 in every single innings this season. Nobody has ever done that in the history of T20 cricket among leagues with this many games. So basically the IPL. He has been absurdly consistent. And he does it once again. He gets them to par, maybe slightly below par, but no score is below par when you've got Jasprit Bumrah. He rips the heart out of them alongside Mitchell Santner. They take 6 for 23 combined in just over 7 overs.
Jesus.
And Delhi fall apart. They don't get anywhere near the total. As we've spoken about so often, they have massively fallen off after a brilliant start to the season. I think they won their first 4 games. They're the first team to ever win the first 4 games of the season and not make the playoffs. That's the scale of their decline. And it meant that with 7 games of the group stage still to go, a full week of cricket, the playoffs were confirmed. The 4 teams that would be
All
going into the
right.
playoffs for the final stages of the IPL were Mumbai Indians, Punjab Kings, Gujarat Titans, and Royal Challengers Bangalore.
And did it mean that, and I'm sure you'll detail this, did we know what order they would finish in a week out, or was this TBC based on results thereafter?
Listener, I didn't pay him to say that because that's the rest of the segment.
Okay.
Because the only remaining drama
Okay.
in the entire rest of that week, literally
The
we knew
only
everything.
the only
It could have
tension.
been
Well,
literally the only tension.
I'll just back announce the fact that Jasprit Bumrah's pretty good at cricket, and Mitchell Santner, who won the Wisden Trophy this year, didn't he, for his extraordinary performance, beating India, taking 14 wickets, I think it was, in a Test match at Mumbai last year. He loves that ground. So good on him, the New Zealand spinner. Let's move into ball 2, where you do, I guess it's permutations and so on.
Yeah, well, I'll slightly reaffirm what we mentioned last week. In the IPL, top 4 teams go through.
Mm.
The first 2 teams basically get double jeopardy. They play
Mm-hmm.
each other. The winner goes through to the final. 3v4 play each other. The winner gets to play whoever lost that first game, and then the winner of that goes through to the final. So basically, you need to get top 2 if you want to. It's very, very, very rare that the winner of the IPL finishes outside the top 2. And so the 3 teams that are really vying for it are Gujarat, Bangalore, and Punjab Kings. Now they basically all have their own fate in their own hands. I'm going to tell you how it goes in a second. Ball 2, Gujarat absolutely implode. They play Lucknow Super Giants on Thursday. Mitchell Marsh blasts 117 of 64 as Lucknow posts 235. Gujarat don't really get near it. The Chase Masters, that top 3 of Sudarshan, Gill, and Butler, can't really get close. There's a half century from Shahrukh Khan, but it's not enough. So they lose. Now they need another win in their game against Chennai on Sunday night that's just gone to make that top two, and they lose again. They concede 230. Again, the bowling keeps falling off. Dewar Brevis makes runs for Chennai. Brilliantly exciting kid. I'm not sure how much of him you've watched. He got 162 off 57 in a domestic South Africa game a year or so ago. He is a brilliant, brilliant young talent. But Chennai have been crap all season, but they turn up and they turn over the side that have been top of the log for the last few weeks. And suddenly Gujarat are now looking at everyone else with the last few games of the season to go. Their fate is out of their hands. They've got 18 points. They need, from the final few games, which I will now talk about, a certain number of results in order to progress.
I can give you an article idea for you, Ben, because I'm tipping in the IPL, in IPL circles, they wouldn't know the history of the Final Four system to which you detailed before, which first was implemented in the 30s in Australia in the VFL, giving first versus second a double chance, and then having the preliminary final to facilitate that loser against the winner of 3 versus 4. I reckon if you wrote an article for CricViz explaining the origin of this Final Four system, it was the Page McIntyre, I think, but the McIntyre system, as it was later known to be known as, you would do well. Talk about the number of times that a team in the Final Four system, which must have ran between, I reckon, 1935 and 1972, they brought in the Final Five. Out of those 40-odd seasons, how many times did third or fourth win? Not many. And that'll help bolster your argument about the importance of the double chance.
Love it.
My segue over. Please continue.
Love it. I always like VFL, particularly. AFL, I'm more of a VFL guy than an AFL guy, as you know.
Be still my beating heart. Get rid of the interstate teams.
All three. So we've just seen that Gujarat, given 2 games to go, if they'd have won one of them, they'd have been guaranteed a place in the qualifier one, in that top 2. They lose them both. RCB come back after the break, as we spoke about last week. They got their first game against KKR rained out. They were slopping around on the outfield. They weren't too nervous because they knew that they'd got a game against Sunrisers Hyderabad, who've also been rubbish, upcoming as an opportunity for them to secure their place. They've got 2 games at the end of the season, Sunrisers and then Lucknow. Sunrisers batter them. Sunrisers come out, spearheaded by Ishan Kishan, makes 94 off 48. They score 231. RCB almost, on Sunday night or Saturday night, I can't remember, they almost get there. Jitta Sharma and Rajat Patidar as captain and I think vice-captain on the day. They shimmied it around because of fitness, I think. They managed to get in pursuit of 231. They get it to 6 overs to go. They're 3 down. The required rate is 11. That, in 2025 T20 cricket, is almost a dead cert. You're backing the batting side probably 8 times out of 10. They mess it up. For the first time this season, they really choke a little bit. They don't get over the line. Tim David records pretty much his first failure of the comp, 1 off 5 balls. And none of those last 6 overs go for more than 10 runs. They don't get double digits in any of them. And Sunrisers ease home, meaning that RCB have got one more game, and this hasn't happened yet. This is the game this afternoon against Lucknow. And that's going to decide whether or not they get into that top 2. The big news for that, actually, I'll save the big news for later, actually. Okay. It is a ball later in the over. Okay. But the point is, RCB, their fate was in their hands, and they've slightly dropped the ball, and they've got one more chance to do it.
What I can never quite work out is how come Sunrisers Hyderabad don't win all the time? Is there a threshold rate? Because, I mean, I don't know much. Clearly, I don't know much about this stuff. But it seems to me like they are fully stacked at all times. And they've
last year we saw them obviously posting 230, 240, 250 every single game. And to be honest, there's a lot of I don't know if there's a lad on Twitter who I really like called John, who chips away a lot about how T20 is all about luck, and he is to an extent right, because there is a lot of fortune involved in T20 cricket. That's why it's more entertaining than other forms of the game at certain times in certain contexts. And Sunrisers have come out and swung from the hip every ball last year, and they almost won the whole thing. And this year they've gone nowhere near. They've stuck a couple of big totals on, but they've not been able to sustain it because there is a bit of luck involved.
Is that John
Sharma, Travis Head? Sorry,
is that John H on Twitter?
The very man himself, yeah.
Excellent. Our producer, too, absolutely loves the work of John H as well, so he gets a name check on the show today. Was this the game where, Jonesy, Sunrisers got in the circle to return to our footy theme and sung "Oh, we're from Hyderabad," and we got to hear was this the win that prompted the social media clip?
I think it was. I'm not 100% sure. I've lost track of time, but yeah, I knew you'd be all over that.
This warrants about a half an hour discussion as it is. So Simon Helmet, who must be working as one of the coaches. Is he the head coach or is he one of the assistant coaches there?
I think he's the head coach, but it's sort of mentor, all this kind of stuff.
He's done many of these great
titles.
jobs around the world. One of the terrific people in world cricket, and has done it through district cricket in Melbourne all the way through Victoria and so on. So I could see how enthusiastic he was. I'm tipping he might have had something to do with it. But Pat Cummins, who didn't really know the lyrics, we've seen him at the footy, but doesn't really know the lyrics to the Richmond song. What's going on there? Travis Head, who was like, "Fuck this, I'm not getting involved in this," because he would, of course, know the Richmond song by heart. And some of the local Indian players who've just taken to it, they wouldn't know the context, and yet they've gone all in. So I did like. So
are we saying that we've got the Hyderabadi Richmonds now? Is there going to be like a little enclave of Richmond fans?
Well, I have a massive soft spot for Richmond. I'm a Richmond member as well. But as
I never understand how these things work. Why don't you hate them?
Oh, it's complex. It's fine. It's all good. The Richmond song is rousing. I'm sure you'd be familiar with it because you watch a bit of footy with me. But the yellow and black and so on. Well, they adopted it, of course, to orange and black for Hyderabad, which was great at the end of the song. So anyway, that took my eye during the week. We should rattle through. We've got about 3 minutes to get through 3 balls here. Tell me more.
Well, I'm taking my time because the last one of the 3 teams that I mentioned, RCB, Gujarat, they both bottle it as far as things have happened so far. Punjab needed to win one of their last 2 games to take themselves into that top 2 position, and they have done it. They took down Mumbai Indians last night in a winner qualifies for the top 2 bout, mainly down to Josh Inglis's marvellous 73 off 42 balls. And I just wanted to give them a bit of credit because at the start of the season, I wasn't convinced about their recruitment. And I slightly snarkily, tongue-in-cheekly, was talking about the Australians at Punjab last week and Ricky Ponting's Australian skew with his recruitment. But last night, they beat Mumbai Indians, probably the biggest team in the tournament, with 6 uncapped Indian players in the side. Priyansh Arya, Prabhsimran Singh, Nail Badira, Shashank Singh, Harpreet Brar, and Vijay Kumar. None of those guys have played for India, and they have all made consistent contributions. And in the case of Priyansh Arya, from basically nowhere, he's come out of absolutely nowhere. Super talented kid and has dominated. And fair play to the scouting team at Punjab to identify these players. Some of them have played for other teams before, but they've really got the best out of a not particularly star-studded squad, and I think that's really impressive. This is the first time they've qualified for the playoffs since 2014, the iconic Glenn Maxwell-led season. On that occasion, they were runners-up, losing to KKR in the final, and they'll be desperate to go one better this year.
Terrific. Is that over bowled or have you got one to go? I can't remember.
2 balls to very quick. One. Okay. One, just to summarise where we are this afternoon, RCB playing Lucknow. If RCB win, that qualifier is Punjab versus RCB. Mm-hmm. If Lucknow win, it's Punjab versus Gujarat. We will have the qualifiers on Thursday, the eliminators on Friday, qualifier 2 on Sunday, and then the final, as all finals should be, is on Tuesday night. Not necessarily the most befitting occasion, but we moved because of the delays to the tournament previously. Okay. So it all comes down to that final game, RCB versus Lucknow. We've done quite well to get something riding on the last game, given where we were a week ago. So yeah, okay. Stick the telly on if it's not happened yet. And the final ball, just to wrap it up, a little bit of non-cricket. It was released this week. Some details about some financial stuff behind the scenes. Basically, previously in the IPL, people could watch the tournament for free on Jio. It was a streaming service. However, there's recently been this big merger between Reliance and Disney, and now it's paid for streaming on Jio Star. There are 230 million subscribers that have been added during the course of this IPL, which means that it now has almost as many subs globally as Netflix. I just always like taking the opportunity to highlight how fucking massive this tournament is. This is a phenomenon, and maybe it's not a global phenomenon in the truest sense, but in terms of the weight of people that are watching this thing and paying to watch this thing, it is vast, it is a behemoth, and it's not stopping anytime soon.
No, it is appropriate context to round it out. Oh, Mitchy Marsh got 100 as well, didn't he? That's nice.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
I know, but I thought I just didn't get a chance to back announce the fact that that's a nice thing to have happened. So Mitch Marsh.
It was one of those. It was happening during the Zim test, and it's that thing where you've got like a disproportionate speed. So we were watching England. Zimbabwe plod around, try and get a foothold in. I reckon I checked the scorecard twice, and Marsh went from 5 to 117 in about 25 minutes. It was a bit distorting, but that's the modern world of cricket. It was a good innings, and I think. I mean, we've obviously seen what Cam Green's doing in the championship for Gloucestershire, but Mitch Marsh looks in lovely touch if he ever was required to come in.
Yeah, they have sort of floated the idea that his work against fast bowling, if England get all their quicks ready for the end of the year, there might be a route back. But of course, he has commitments with the white ball team between now and then. Ben, that's it. One more week of the IPL gone. One more to come. That must mean there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games left in the tournament. We'll recap all of them next week after the final. This has been, JT, thank you for joining us first. I should at least say goodbye before I wrap up the show.
Thank you, mate. Much appreciated.
Final Word Cricket Podcast, Adam Collins and Jeff Lemon, as ever, with you. Please click through to that Lord's Taverners link in the show notes. If you've listened to Haley today, if you've taken an interest in the story, you want to play your role in making sure that we just nudge over that target of £30,000, and we're proud to be within striking distance of that at the moment. To Maurice Blackburn Lawyers, to Odin Mortgage and Tax, to all of our marvellous patrons who've been in terrific nick over the last few days around the Edinburgh Marathon Festival, supporting us all the way. We thank all of you. Patreon.com/thefinalword to join that wonderful Discord community and everything else that flows from it. We'll be back with what's likely to be an interview midweek, story time on the weekend. We're not far away from all the dailies that will come through in the England summer as well, World Test Championship, followed by the India-England tests over here, the tests in the Caribbean between the West Indies and Australia. No better time to join up to patreon.com/thefinalword to back us in with these various pursuits. All right, that's it from us. Catch you very soon.